Okay, so this product is called Cutch or Cutch. It is from Acacia catechu, which is from Asia. It has two actual dyes in it, catechu tannic acid, which is soluble in cold water, and catechin, which has to have hot or almost simmering water to dissolve. It is the original dye for Indian calico, which you can look up the Calico Wars if you would like to, and how Britain just took over India for fabric. It was used in the Mughal period. It is so important that there's like an entire district of India called Cutch, named after the dye. It creates the color khak, K-H-A-K, which is short for khaki, which is an Indian word for dust or earth or ashes. So you can satin this dye with iron or use iron as a mordant before you put your fabric in. It makes a lot of brown, warm gold, fawn. If you use a lot of it, it will turn more red, a bit more like a eucalyptus tree. So I just thought it was really neat that this is a really ancient product. And it's from a horrible thorny tree. And they peel the bark off. The tree has to be 30 years old before they can use it. So you're using a 30-year-old tree whenever you use the Cutch resin. So let's see how we do. Since it's great with cotton, it's great with wool, silk, everything. It will take up to most things because it is so rich in tannins. So let's try it out. Okay, so we have our Cutch dye going here. It is taking up very nicely on both the cottons. I think I've probably used far too much. It said it's a hard to exhaust dye bath, so would not shock me if I made something impossible to kill off again. But it's taking nicely on everything, either mordanted or not, which is what it should do, because it is so tannin rich. Okay, here's our first Cutch experiment, and I would say that's a warm, rich coffee color. It's a more brown color than the loquat. Again, this is my evening light, so it's a little bit less true to color just because it's a more yellow light than the daylight. But we will get the beautiful Cutch laundered. I am using Retain. One, I want to see if I can print on these, and because it's so tannin rich, theoretically it will react violently with any iron. I can use a dye blanket, which is fine. And I can do that. But also, I would like to see if I can get it to print, because it's silk, if I can get it to print by just doing an iron mordant. But I don't want it to turn black, which is what this color will turn if I soak it in that. So, I've put it through with Retain, which is the, well, it's kind of just a surfactant, but the way it works is that it lifts any extra particles of dye off so that your dye isn't going to shed or bleed the next time you reheat it, and you put it into very hot water, like 170, I think. It's about as hot as you can get it out of your tap, and I find that that works good enough. So when this is all laundered, we will have a look at our beautiful Cutch dyeing experiment. And I can totally see how you could turn this to khaki, no problem, by just doing it much lighter, so you get a more buttery kind of yellow tone, and then satining it with iron. And apparently I'm also allergic to acacia trees because this has been making me sneeze like crazy. Okay, well here is our super simple Cutch experiment. This dye bath has only gotten stronger, I can honestly say, since using it. So this is no mordant on cotton, 15% alum. This one is oak gall tannin. This one is alum triformate, and this one is the aluminum acetate, which left more of the weird sprinkles on it. Anyway, that is the basic Cutch experiment, but as you will soon find out, there is a lot more Cutch to come because it will not exhaust. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on another experiment. I'd be so grateful if you would check out my Patreon or any of the communities that you can come learn from me in the comments below. Thank you to my patrons, and I'll see you in the next experiment. Bye!